If I traded it all, if I gave it all away.
Welcome back, everyone. My next guest is Patricia Way. She is the owner of Birth to Worth. Welcome to the show. Now, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Carol, it's great to be here today and talking about Birth to Worth. I'll talk about my beginning in time. I was born in a tent at Fort Belvoir, Virginia. So transition was the beginning of my life, which was the genesis of Birth to Worth at the very beginning of time for me. And I grew up in a military environment. My father was in the Army, and we traveled around the world with my dad, my siblings, myself, and my mom. And so from that, I learned some leadership principles and some truths which led to me becoming an entrepreneur. And that was making my bed military style, cleaning with white glove inspections. And so from that, I learned the spirit of excellence. I learned that whatever I did, do it with excellence and give it your very best. So I learned that from Dad. And from my mom, I learned to dress your best at all times. She would dress me in these little dresses as a little girl, and I'd go out and play on the slides or whatever and come back dirty, but I did learn from her to wear those cute little dresses and to dress for success at a very early age. And so with that, she instilled in me, no matter what you're doing in life, no matter your circumstances, you want to look your best. Look your very, very best. And I began to do leadership conferences and Dressing for Success conferences through that very principle that I learned from an early age. And from that, I had great mentors in college, went on to pursue my degree in college, and then began a wonderful career in federal government in human resources. And so after 31 years in government, serving, I was the HR director with Department of Army, Department of Justice, and Homeland Security. I decided to retire when I met the age and years and created Birth to Worth, which is a training, coaching, and consulting business. Now, from working in HR, I was fortunate enough to review thousands of resumes and to interview a number of individuals, hundreds, if you will. And so something resonated with that for me before retiring, that I had a part in helping individuals to build their careers, define those areas of expertise, to select individuals that had those skill sets, the competencies as we call them in government. And so from that, when I got ready to retire, I said, what can I do to continue to help people to be the very best they could be, to look the very best they could look, and to pursue their passion, their dream in their careers. And so I had a wonderful career doing that in human resources. That was my niche, that was my passion and purpose. So from that, Birth to Worth, from the beginning, which mine began in a tent, born in a tent, to retiring and then still taking those skill sets that I had gained to help others look at what they have, what they bring, their education, their expertise, and even the leadership skills that are developed, to then take that and translate it into something else called being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of people out there that have had to become their own entrepreneurs. Sometimes people had retired and maybe said, like you said you wanted to just do something different. Right. A lot of people end up even having to. So your client, just out of curiosity, in terms of all of this, and I love your journey and this, who is your client? Is it somebody, let's say, who wants to start a new business, who is thinking about that? Is it anybody? Who is it?
My clients are, I have a wide range of clients. For one example would be someone in the military who's served 20 years and is getting out, has never, ever put together a resume and has no clue, knows that he has to or she has to continue working, has no clue how to take those skill sets and translate them into meaningful work that can be done on the outside private sector or even going back to government. And so a client would be one-on-one talking about, again, back to Birth to Worth, their value, what they contributed in the military. Number one, they gained valuable leadership skills. So I really talk about their leadership skills and how they literally can walk into another government agency or private sector with those leadership skills. And then I talk about what were the competencies attached to the leadership skills. For example, a finance officer, very valuable skill sets that can be used in private sector or in government, in an accounting office, if you will. So I have clients that are one-on-one looking at transitions, transitioning from one career to another, if you will.
And there's a lot of people. You don't have to be in the, in the armed forces or anything for that. There's a lot of people who are in that. So any of that type of a person.
Yes.
So now you are offering for everybody a 1-hour free consultation that comes along with this leadership game, and you got to tell everybody about it. This is a $500 value free to you guys out there.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and give you our phone number, because you can call in throughout the rest of the show for all these things. The number to call here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Check her out on her website. It's birth2worth.com. She does free consultation, so you can also call her up at 912-222-0082, or call in here and get this free 1-hour consultation that comes along with this leadership game. What is the leadership game?
The leadership game is phenomenal, and the brains behind the leadership game is John Maxwell. I'm a certified coach, speaker, and trainer through John Maxwell. And this game, I would facilitate a team of 12 individuals within the organization, preferably with the CEO, the president or CEO, and his immediate leadership team. And you have a set of dice, and you have a timer. And the cards all address leadership competencies. CEO might be sitting at the table with his team and may not know the 5 most key leadership attributes that someone believes that they possess. So each person plays the game, they roll the dice, they pick a card, and the question may read. I've actually played the game. It was a lot of fun, but I learned a lot about 12 strangers I knew nothing about initially. The card would read, what are your 5 strongest leadership attributes? And the card would read, everyone at the table plays the game. You write those down. You have 2 minutes to do that, and each person has to unveil what are your 5 leadership competencies.
So not only do you learn a lot about those people, but they learn a lot about themselves, because they got to think about it.
Yes.
This is a $500 value free to you. This is super. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Now you can check her out on her website. It's birth2worth.com. You can also call her direct. The number is 912-222-0082. But I say call in here. This is a $500 value free to you. It's one-on-one. How many people? Do they have to have 12 people, or can they have less? Up to 12?
Up to 12 is best.
Okay.
Yes.
So the more the merrier, actually, on it. Okay. And so, again, this is a $500 value free to you. Call in here, 602-277-5369. I know that you have a lot. Do you have any more about your own story that you want to get out before we go into something else I want you to ask you? Go ahead.
I would say there's a concept called the law of the lid, and I built my career in government I pulled out some documents for you today, Carol, where I started out making $3.56 an hour as a clerk typist. And at the end of my career, I was making over 6 figures. And I looked at the sum total of my life, my career, and it took everything that I had done within a 31-year span of time, from the environment that I grew up in, from the mentors, from the college training, from just working hard and learning a skill that I realized was my passion in HR, rating and ranking applications, training and development, writing job descriptions. I can spend 5 minutes with an individual and tell them what they're worth. I used to write job descriptions. So the sum total of all that I did, all that I was, even the dressing for success played a part, from earning $3.56 up to earning over 6 figures. Everything mattered. And so I would say to the listeners that your environment and everything about you is translated into success, even your failures. There's a book called Failing Forward from John Maxwell as well. So everything has a part in your success, and you would be surprised at the skill sets that can translate into a career after you retire.
Well, she does free consultations. You can call her direct. Again, this is anybody could use your services, but there's a lot of people out there that are starting they're entrepreneurs out there. Also in the military, if you have somebody that's just coming out, she can help talk about their worth and show them how much where they can go from there. Because sometimes you come out and you just don't know. So we've got our lines open here, and I'll let everyone call throughout the rest of the show for this. It's a 1-hour consultation that comes with a leadership game, and that's $500 value free to you. Keep on calling here at 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You can check her out on her website. It's birth2worth.com, or you can call her direct at 912-222-0082, or call in here at 602-277-5369.